Hello, everybody. Hope you're having a beautiful day. I'm Dr. Brandon Drabeck, naturopathic doctor with the Geauga Holistic Rehabilitation Institute. And thank you for joining me today. This is Wellness Wednesday. We're going to be dropping a video blog every Wednesday with a new health topic. And today we're going to talk a little bit more covering what we've been discussing the past couple of weeks, which is that salutogenesis. But today we're going to dive in a little bit further into those three phases of that cellular danger response. So have you ever thought, why do I keep cycling? Better, worse, better, worse. Or why does the same plan work for someone else but wrecks me? At GHRI, we use a simple lens that helps people stop guessing when your body tends to operate in those three healing modes. Number one, it's all about defense and containment. Number two, it's all about repairing and rebuilding. And three, it is always about reintegrating and strengthening the body. So when you match your plan to the mode you're actually in, progress gets simpler and way more sustainable. So do me a favor, drop a comment below and let me know A, B, or C when you hear your pattern. So researchers describe a protective metabolic response, sometimes called the cellular danger response or cell danger response. And basically what happens is when the body perceives a threat or an injury and shifts all of its priorities forward and toward protection, which is a key point in this model, is that healing can't fully complete until the system returns to a stable readiness state. And zooming out a little bit, long-term stress builds what's called that allostatic load that we've been talking about, that cumulative wear and tear on the body from systems being repeatedly challenged. So here's our translation. When our load stays high and our capacity stays low, the body keeps choosing protection over progress. Now, here are the three modes that we see clinically. Mode A, again, is that defense and that containment response. And this is where we really need to help stabilize the body and reduce inputs. Mode B is when we start to see that repair and rebuild phase. And this is where we need to give the body steady fuel and consistency. And then mode 3 is where we start to see reintegration and strengthening. And this is where we start to bring in that graded capacity building. So in mode A, if you're in mode A, your system acts like the world is too loud. It feels like, you're reactive, could be to foods, could be to other stressors, could be to just having a busy day at the office, could be, your workouts are just a little too much for you. Something sets you off. And then eventually sleep ends up becoming light. You start feeling a little more wired. And when you wake up, you're just unrefreshed. And you can feel amped but tired, or as I like to say, wired but tired. Your body just won't downshift easily. And symptoms can be even unpredictable. You can get flares or sensitivities or even crashes. And when you do a little more, you end up paying for it in the long run. So in the cellular danger response framework, this early phase is often described as prioritizing innate immunity, intruder toxin detection and removal, damage control, and containment. Think about it this way. You're on fire, the fire alarm goes off, the fire department goes out. But the mistake here that a lot of people make is trying to push through with intensity. Hard workouts, aggressive protocols, stacking supplements, when the body is begging for something as simple as stability. So what do? So we create a simple goal for 7 days. And the idea here is to create safety signals and reduce variables. So the easiest thing you could do starting today is just pick 2 things. One could be a sleep anchor. Set your alarm clock for the same wake-up time every day. Now, I get it. Weekends, we tend to relax a little bit more, but as long as you get up within an hour of that wake time, you're doing good. And then also cut off caffeine. Set a time in which you're going to cut caffeine off during the day. Create a nervous system downshift. 2 minutes before bed. Create something that'll help you calm down and relax. Could be just simply drinking a nice refreshing and relaxing cup of tea like chamomile or lavender. Could be something as simple as just doing some deep breathing before you go to bed. The third option, of course, is simplify your inputs. I know a lot of people, the first thing they want to do, especially in the line of work that I'm in, they want to just jump on the supplements right away. Do you have a supplement for this or a supplement for that? Believe me, too many supplements, too many things at once can create a load. So try to reduce the amount of supplements you're taking. Take fewer new supplements. Try fewer new foods in a week and see how you feel. And lastly, gentle movement only. Nothing crazy. No throwdown sweat fest at the gym. Go for a simple walk, do some simple mobility, nothing that spikes your symptoms. And remember, just pick 2 of these things. And now, if you're in mode A, you are a perfect fit, by the way, to start with our 7-day mind-body reset program. Because it's designed to lower that load and, of course, stabilize the system without overwhelm. Now, mode B is all about repairing and rebuilding. It's where a lot of people live for months, and a lot of times, I'll be honest, years. They're not on fire anymore, but they're not fully back to the way they used to feel before they had some level of trauma, be it physical or emotional. Now, it usually feels like in this particular mode that you're less reactive, but you still have a low battery. You can function, but you get delayed crashes. Your body needs steady fuel. If meals are inconsistent, your energy will tank. And progress happens when your routine is boring and consistent and disappears when life gets chaotic. So you're often dealing with sort of recovery debt. And in this framework, that middle phase of this response is described as emphasizing what we call biomass replacement and rebuilding. In other words, the cells are starting to proliferate. They're starting to build. Repair is resource intensive. This is a stage where a lot of people do get stuck because our bodies do require so much resource to be able to rebuild. The mistake here, though, is starting to just, do random intensity things like big workouts, inconsistent sleep, having a weekday perfect, weekend chaos. The thing here is your body still needs that steadiness. So the goal in this particular mode for the next 7 days is to have predictable fuel and predictable rhythm. I tell my clients all the time, protect your circadian rhythm like your life depends on it, because it really does. So pick a couple of options here. You could do a protein anchor at your first meal. So let's say breakfast, you have a serving size of protein. Keep your hydration consistent. Get that same minimum on a daily target every day. Now, I know that out there in the natural health realm, we always hear drink half your body weight in ounces. Well, that can be good advice, but sometimes that can also be too much. So just try to shoot for like 3 or 4 bottles a day. If you're only doing 1 or 2, just boost it by 1 more bottle. That's okay. Just keep it simple. Keep it manageable. Daily low intensity movement that you can recover from. So even if it's just going for a brisk walk, make sure that you can still talk a full sentence without losing your breath and needing to catch your breath, right? And then find one routine that you don't need to negotiate, whether it's a sleep window, again, locking down your sleep times, whether it's going for a walk after meals, or just making sure that you eat meals on a regular basis. And again, that 7-day mind-body reset works really great here too, because it helps reduce that chaos and upgrades your consistency. Now in mode C, or mode 3 if you will, this is all about reintegration and strengthening. And this is where you're not just managing, but you're actually rebuilding capacity. So it feels like you start to bounce back a little bit faster after stress. Your symptoms are a lot more quieter and more predictable. You're ready for progressive training and bigger goals. You don't just want less symptoms, you want more resilience. And you can handle a challenge as long as recovery is built in. So in this later phase of the healing cycle model, this emphasizes that shift toward restoring specialized function, which is often referred to as differentiation and reintegration after repair winds down. The biggest mistake that a lot of people make in this mode is they do too much too fast. So mode C still requires graded progression when it comes to activities. Now, again, what you can do for the next 7 days is really just train your capacity and protect your recovery. So just pick 2 simple things. 2 to 3 strength sessions a week, something even as simple as, doesn't have to be lifting weights, it could just be something as simple as doing resistance band training, for example, but do it at an appropriate level that's not going to wear you out. Another option could be just doing, again, zone 2, what we call zone 2 walking, which is where you go for a walk, but you're not going to lose or need to catch your breath. You can speak a full sentence without having to stop and catch your breath. Another option is sleep protection, because again, adaptation happens when we are at rest. So protect your sleep cycle and your wake cycle. And then find one meaningful goal that keeps you consistent. So are you A, B, or C right now? If you want the simplest next step without guessing, check out our 7-day mind-body reset. I'll provide a link in the description. It's basically a structured way to, again, lower that load, raise your capacity, and build momentum, especially if you're feeling stuck. And if you want a personalized rehabilitation, holistic rehabilitation style roadmap, book a complimentary consultation with me, again, the Giaga Holistic Rehabilitation Institute, and I'll help map out your pattern and build that next phase appropriate plan. So again, comment A, B, or C, your main symptom if you'd like, and I'll reply with your best one load, one capacity focus. Thanks again for joining me. Again, I hope you guys have a beautiful day. Stay warm and stay safe. I know the weather's been crazy. I really look forward to seeing you all in the next video. Take care for now.